Okay, we're going to see if this works. Doing a anti-bee drown thing for a rapid round feeder. Basic rapid round. This happens to be a smaller one, but this works for the bigger ones as well. What you want to do is to get some melamine sponges. Now these are the exact same thing as the cleaning erasers. Okay, and these you can buy 50 and 100 at a time for like $7 or something off AliExpress, probably on Amazon. And they're just these melamine foam sponges, 100% plastic, but really good stuff. So what you want to do is you take your lid, and we're going to create a foam pad that fits between the lid and the cone so that the bees can walk on it and not get down into the syrup itself, because then they drown, and we don't want our bees to drown. Now, very first and foremost, I am going to take a serrated knife. This is what I hack things up in my garden with, and cut this in half. Now, if you are using the Mr. Clean type, or even the grocery store generics, you're probably going to need to cut this into 3 layers. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. We're a little thicker on this side, so I am going to thin that down. Just I swear I am. There we are. They're very easy to cut. I like using serrated knives, but even non-serrated will work as well. Now, when you put them in the cup, it's a little breezy today. When you put them in the cup, they will conform to that angle, which is not just straight up and down, it's at a slight angle. So by pressing it against that edge, you can see that you get kind of a concave look to your melamine. Now, at the bottom, you can see it's pretty much a straight line. Yay! I want it to be as far here as the cone is from the top of the lid. That's about 3/8 of an inch. Bee space. On some of them, I think they're more like 1/2 inch. It doesn't matter, and making it a little low won't kill anyone, especially your bees. So, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to line up this bottom part with approximately the height that the cone is. Okay, and then I'm going to take my knife and literally just pull back. It's right along the edge of the cup, and I cut that off, and now it fits just like that. Oh, let me get my piece that fell, because sometimes those are useful. All right, I'm going to put this one to the side, and you can see that it has a rounded shape this way as well as an angled shape this way. That's the side that we cut. That will be along the bottom of this little cup. Now I'm going to do it again. This is the one I had to trim down a little bit. If it's too thick, it'll want to come up when you put the cup over the cone, and that just makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, and again, we are just pulling back. Not as smooth, but it works. Okay, and again, curve there, slight slant there. This one I didn't hold very well, so there's not much of a slant there. All right, now we can fit both of these in, and if you're using the store-bought sponges, for the most part, they're going to meet here because they are longer. This one does not, and that's fine. We are going to make another half, and I'm going to do it this way this time because I might be able to get it more of a parallel cut. Like I said, these things are cheap, so if you're not very successful, like I obviously wasn't there, it's okay. You know, they end up being like a nickel a piece or 7 cents a piece or something. So, all right, that's reasonably level. Now, I'm going to roughly measure how long that needs to be. And it's about to there. Okay, I'm going to flatten this out. No, I'm not. Okay. Take out the two, put this back here. Okay, and once again, put this on the inside and measure it down to that level. And I'm sorry if I'm making you sick or, you know, I'm not moving my camera, but okay, and once again, don't cut your thumb off. All right, so now we have this and this and this. Now, that is it. And if you look from the top, you can see there's a space all the way around. Now I'm going to take my feeder, which is where I put all my little pieces here, and set it right on top. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but they pressed up. Not a huge deal, but it lifted from the bottom, so that's not going to be sitting in your syrup anymore. So, I need to make this a little bit thinner. So that it does not get pushed up. You know, and I have had these where I've started them over again. They're really, I mean, it's like 1/4 inch, a little less than 1/4 inch. Okay. Children in the neighborhood. On a kid-sized Vespa. Interesting. Okay, we're going to try this again. And as I push, it still rises up. Okay, that's this one. I hope you can see me. Don't know if you can believe it or not, but this is my first video. Oh, you can? Of course you can. Good Lord. It's one of those, just because you've watched them doesn't mean you know how to make them. Okay. All right. So here we go. And it's good to show you the oopses and the maybe nots and whatnot. All right, here we go, and we slide it down. Okay, and they're still getting pushed up just a little bit. I'm trying to remember if I had a trick to this last year when I made these in the first place. Okay. Oh, there we go. Can we say duh? All right, now, in this particular setup, there are 3 little knobs. They help to keep this little lid in place, but they will also push up your things. So I'm going to find each of those and make a little notch where they are. Okay, so there's one that fits in between, and then another one just about here. Okay. All right. Raising those all up quite a bit. There we go. I'm going to line up with the little knobbies at the bottom. Knobby, knobby, and where'd that knobby go? There it is. Knobby, knobby, and good enough knobby. I press this down, and it stays in place. They are all down. Now, the only problems that I have had with this are sometimes if these gaps are a little bit too large, a bee can wedge itself down there. The pro to that is that once a bee's in there, nobody else is going to get in there, but you do lose a bee. So, I will sometimes take just a little triangle, wink, and wedge it into those little places. Now, the top is what's most important. The top being the top of this, not the bottoms of these. So this gets it wedged in a little bit tighter. And did you know you never need hot water to make your sugar syrup even 2 to 1? Because if you shake it well enough and give it enough time, it will dissolve. Okay, I'm going to bring these back up. Again, match those little thingies over the little nubs that are in the bottom. Where'd the nub go? There it is. And then press it down. So now it is even, or even a little low, with the top of the cone. So now the bees can come out and go in that entire area all the way to the edge and feed, and not be below the level of the syrup. It will wick up syrup until the thing's empty. It's really good. And as long as you keep just filling it up, those sponges will stay moist and they will stay perfectly fine. Literally, because, like my first season, I needed to feed all the time. I was needing drawn comb. I wasn't looking for honey. I was trying to get extra drawn comb for the next year's splits, that kind of thing. So I was feeding pretty much all year long, or all season long. And once I did this, I did not have a drowning, except for a single bee that got itself wedged in between. Now with this, I do see that I went a little thin on this side, so there's potential for a bee or two to basically get trampled and not be able to get out of there in time. Not real likely. They've got the cone on one side, they've got the sponge on the other. They should be able to get themselves out just fine, so I'm not worried about it. The brain has experienced a bubble. But as long as you keep just refilling it, even if it's been dry for a while, you go out of town for a week and oops, they finished their food 2 days ago, it'll just rehydrate and go back up. Now, once the season is over, or once you are removing feeders because you're going to be putting on a honey super, you take this off, those sponges are going to dry out and they will turn to, they'll just be brittle little dusts of yuck. They will harden and they will not be reusable. But as you can see, this is super cheap, really easy to do, and I highly recommend it. So, give my syrup one more really good shake. And normally I don't fill it until it's actually on the hive, but also keep in mind, if you have tilted your hives so that they are at the 3 degrees that is recommended for watershed and whatnot, that does mean that one edge of this is going to be lower than the other. And like I've got, basically the yellow ones are 1 quart and the white ones are ½ gallon. And then they do make ones that take up like an entire 10 frame top box, kind of thing. But these are the ones I like. The white ones are the ones I like. We're just starting the season here, and I have to clean mine once I find them. I'm not sure where they went. Possibly got blown away in a storm. But see if you can see this. Ha 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 ha. Okay, it is slowly wicking up the sides. Of the sponge, and it will get to the top, and once it gets to the top, then your bees can just suck it right off of there. My bee shirt. So I'm going to go in back and put this on the hive that is not ready for a honey super. I've already fed the other one that is not ready for a honey super. And then the third one has honey super on it. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was easy enough. You can probably do it better than me. This is my first time on camera. Not that I'm really on the camera. Ooh, cat hair in the feed. That always helps. And thank you very much. And I hope you come back for more.